Video blog.
Hey guys, I'm back with some more playtesting. Now before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everybody who made it to London over the weekend and who came and saw the game. Commiserations to everybody who couldn't make it. It was really nice meeting some of you guys, and thank you for all of your feedback, some of which I'm going to be putting into the game over the next few weeks. So since the last video, it's mostly been a little bit of just balance stuff. I've been doing loads of tidying for the show, Res, last weekend in London, like just been talking about. So there's a little bit of quality of life stuff. Should be running a little bit smoother, a few less bugs. One thing that was pointed out in the comments, either last week or the last video or the video before, was I actually got some of the mechanics wrong, the stats wrong for the yellow tangs, and I had a little look at the spreadsheet put together by my researcher, and yeah, I actually just put the wrong things in. It was really strange, and I went back and there was a few more mistakes there. So actually I've updated the whole lot, but most of these have stayed the same, to be honest. One other thing though is that I got a formula wrong, and I actually made all the rank 2 and above animals a little bit too good compared to the rank 1 one. So there was this big jump between rank 1 and rank 2, so I've evened that out now. That was just it was just a kind of -1 error, you know. I just forgot to -1 somewhere, and then it kind of just made everything shift out. It was almost like it skipped. It was actually kind of compared to, it was treating rank 1 as rank 0. Yeah, right, if you can imagine that. And so like the difference between rank 2 and rank 0 was like double the amount it should have been. Anyway, so let's get started. Now it's been a couple of weeks since I've done the last played on this level before, so I've got to remember what we were doing. So I think what we've done is, yeah, we've got our first couple of wall tanks, which are looking pretty good, and we have just hit rank 3. So we are currently, let's have a little look, we're currently unlocking this Arabian blue line dotty back, which is still at rank 2, but then after that we will have the choice of all these different things at rank 3, which is pretty exciting. And yeah, we'll just see how that goes. So I think we'll just let the game keep running. Now we've just unlocked this corner tank. A little bit of another little change that I've done, but in this build it kind of like didn't quite make it in, but it is in. Hard to explain. Basically, when you unlock the wall tanks, you also get the corner tanks for free now, which is cool, because actually I didn't think it was very satisfying unlocking the wall tanks followed by the corner tanks. They were kind of, I think together they work well. So I think, you know, you unlock the wall tanks and you get both, and then you can kind of create any shape you want. The observer tank, on the other hand, is a little bit different. I think it's quite an interesting one. You can actually build this one quite big. Oh, I didn't actually want to do that. Stop. I actually want to get this. I'll show you once I unlock this cool stuff you can do with the observer tank. Okay, Combi Mini. This is a new filter that I've added. Again, it was just kind of in relation to balance. This should actually be unlocked at rank 1. We're getting a bit late, but part of the cool way that the game is kind of put together is that actually if I add new stuff then at earlier ranks, they just suddenly, and I've got an old save game, they will just suddenly become available when you load your save game up, which is kind of nice. So actually if I keep editing the game as we go forward, it's no big deal, because new stuff I add at earlier ranks will just become available. So this Combi Mini is quite cool. It's not as powerful as either the basic filter or the basic heater, but it combines what they do into a single unit, which is really helpful. It's slightly less reliable, but that's fine. So we're going to unlock that. This has got a really low science requirement because you're meant to get it really early. Are you sure you want to switch research? You'll lose half the research earned so far. I'm not sure if I told you about this, guys, yet, but this is just a little, very kind of soft thing just to stop you kind of switching research all the time. But, you know, I also don't want to punish you too much. So you just lose half. So if you've only just started it, it really doesn't matter. Okay, let's carry on. And we're going to unlock this is like super quick, right? Because this should have been unlocked a lot earlier. And then what I'll probably do is actually make I'll update all these tanks here. Oh, we did actually manage to get the Arabian blue line dotty back first. Now, I'm not sure if you guys had a look at this one last time. This is one of the ones I changed. It's one of the things that hasn't changed is it's still a bully, so it'll pester wimps. I'm not sure if we've unlocked the Kingdom of Zelda. Yes, we have. That's our first wimp. And this is our first bully, actually, because that's another thing that changed. Like the yellow tanks have actually they're no longer a bully. Yeah, I'm not sure where I got that from. I think I did a bit of my own research and I kind of decided to make them a bully, but based on what my researcher says, no, they're fine. You can put them in with stuff. And they also, what was the other? Yeah, they don't nip on stony corals. That was the thing that someone suggested in the comments. They're absolutely right. Right, anyway, so this guy, these guys are actually okay with conspecifics, which actually it's actually really good because it makes them so much more useful earlier in the game. I can put these with themselves, I just can't put them with wimps, and but as a result I did have to lower their stats a little bit because otherwise they're a bit too powerful. But this is actually quite a useful one. It does mean that earlier in the game we've got a few more opportunities for mixing stuff together, and hopefully before the end of this video you will see the first major mechanic which really incentivizes you to do that. Like, it's already good to mix stuff together. If you've got a really big tank, you just fill it with one fish. Like, your guests aren't going to get much from it. You're not going to get that much prestige. But there's another mechanic which will give you another reason why it's good to mix things together. Alright, let's pick a new research. So now we've got some really nice ones here. First up, we've got the Coral Beauty. Let's go through its stats. This is fun. I like this bit. Okay, so... requires a water quality of 65, so same as my tangs. It's kind of medium, not too high, but also probably will need a bigger filter, or I'll have to leave the tank slightly empty. Now it eats green pellets. That's the first thing that eats green pellets, so it's a slight annoyance having to set up another type of food. It likes plants, it's very good. Dislikes conspecific, so this is one that I can only put one in. And in fact, I think, am I right in thinking, have we actually got any dislikes conspecifics yet? No, yes, I think, and this is good, this is really good. Okay, so this, now with the updated stats, we're going to be talking about rank 3 is the first time that you get a dislike conspecifics, which I think is good because actually, honestly, from a balance perspective, earlier on in the game, it's just frustrating only being able to put one thing in. And it's also a wimp. So you're gonna, you can only put one of these in, and but you want to put some other stuff in with it, obviously, because it's you don't want to fill a tank with just one fish. You can't fill a tank with just one fish normally, but you can't put any bullies in, so that's something to worry about. And this is a stony coral eater, something to worry about. This one's got quite a lot of stuff. Then we got the coral grouper. Coral grouper, an old favourite. I mean, you guys have seen this for a long time. This is actually our first fish which can grow. Now this one grows really fast because it's greedy. It's got a growth time of 3 days. It increases 1 each day that all requirements are met, and it will grow up after 3 days. Okay, so right now this says 3, which is what you're aiming for, but once it's in, this will show you how many days you've managed to keep it well. So it doesn't get reset if you don't meet one of its requirements, but obviously if you don't feed it one day, then that will count, and it will miss a day, which is going to slow you down. And also if you just kind of mess it up, if you put it in with something that it doesn't like, then it's just not going to grow up. It's just going to stay small because it's going to be stressed. It's just not going to be happy. Okay, so it's greedy, dislikes conspecifics, eats mussels, and likes a cave. So I quite like this one. Then we've also got the Volaton, which is our first speciality fish. Now this actually won't always be there. This should be at rank 4, but I want to put a zebra moray eel here instead, but I just haven't got that one swimming right yet. So it's just a little bit different to how it will be eventually. But this is fine. This is the second speciality fish you would normally unlock. It's got a lot going on. It takes a little longer to grow up. It's actually got a lot of the same stuff as the grouper, which is why I want it to be at a different rank. Oh, by the way, yeah, the grouper does eat fish, so you got to be careful. I can't put this with anything size 2 or less, or it'll eat them. Or it won't definitely eat them, and there'll be a chance. And that's something that gets interesting later in the game, because you might want to take a risk just to keep your displays nice and full. But also, animals cost money. You don't necessarily want your prize animals getting eaten, and also it can give the water quality a hit if something gets eaten. So we're going to avoid that. The Volaton also eats crustaceans. I think the coral grouper should probably eat crustaceans, but man, it's got a lot of different stats, so that's a difficult one to put in. Anyway, they both like caves, they both like mussels, quite similar. The coral grouper has got a much lower water quality requirement. Anyway, and then we got this medium rock, which is just a slightly more efficient way of generating filter power. So, I like the coral grouper. I want to just start growing these up. These get quite good once they're grown up. So let's go for that. We've got the Combi Mini. Alright, and then next we have the choice of the observer tank. Or a new piece of equipment, a basic pump. Now, I've already shown you guys pumps, but only in a kind of tech demo. It'll be really interesting to show you how these actually work in practice. Right now, I've actually got everything behind closed doors, so it's not a huge deal. So I'm going to go for the observer tank. The pump is useful for getting filter power to somewhere where it's difficult to get it. So it's It means you don't have to have your equipment on the outside of your tanks, and it also is really nice for centralizing your maintenance of your equipment, because you could have all of your pumps in a pump room with lots of equipment there, and you could just have a staff member who's really good at maintenance just going around them all the time. Right, the next thing I want to do, let's take this down. A couple of new sound effects, listen. So we now have a different sound effect on the walls going down to the walls going up. It's pretty cool. Alright, so let's sell all of these, because these are actually only size 12. So the only good thing about these freestanding ones, their low volume, is that we can actually use a Combi Mini, because the heating is under 12, and actually because these are low quality fish, low water quality requirement fish, we shouldn't have a problem with the filter power. So we can just go like plonk, plonk, plonk. Now this is something that's really annoying me. I really want to fix it, but I want, when you're placing stuff, I want this to kind of just fall right through these guys so that you can click behind them. These icons get in the way, which is really frustrating. I have looked into doing it, but it's a little more complicated than I'd like. Ideally what I'd like is that if you hover over them, the tooltip still comes up, but you can click to still place stuff behind them. But I think what I'm going to have to do is just make it so that they are completely uninteractable. And if I do that, then I can get the click to kind of fall through. But yeah, surprisingly annoying. Like, I'd like it to, if you want, it's difficult to grab onto like an event, like a hover event, but let through a click. It's like you don't get that fine-tuned control. And I've looked really hard. It's quite difficult to do in Unity. Anyway, I bet loads of people are going to like give me links to like really easy tutorials in the comments now. You're welcome to. I'm not promising I'll do anything about that. Right. Okay, so let's just have a little look at these water qualities. 56, 56, 56, 56. Perfect. So these little minis are doing just fine. And what's actually really nice is that now the staff can actually feed in this room. It could be time to start zoning, to be honest. No, I won't for now. I think I won't for now. Alright, so do we have any new animals? We've got this Arabian blue line dotty back, and we can take advantage of the fact that it no longer dislikes conspecifics. I think we've also got this King Demoiselle that we haven't used. So should we add an extra tank, or should we put them in the current tanks? Tough decision. You put them in the current tanks, and you're going to get the guests to see all of your fish very quickly in a short amount of time. But, as I've said before, part of the calculation for whether they're impressed by the animals is based on how many of them there are. And so we might not want to decrease the number of number in these tanks, because they're so small that they're not very impressive on their own. You kind of need a few of them to get that impact. So I'm just going to look at the prestige. We got actually quite happy with the Orchid Dotty backs. You can see that these guys are actually being helped by the fact that we've got 2 tanks of them. This is the number of guests that have kind of enjoyed the animal, and it doesn't seem like that's saturated yet. 7 guests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's something I might reveal, I might not, but there's basically, it's kind of this idea of like saturation. When every single guest has enjoyed that animal, you kind of know that you've got enough of that animal in your park. So, not park, sorry, aquarium. Gotta watch myself on that. So that's something I could reveal, but I don't know, it might just be a bit too much information. I'm still wondering about how I feed back this prestige stuff better. Yellow tangs, actually, it's interesting. They could definitely use a bit more saturation, but yeah, I mean, everything I'm seeing here, I actually think we could just do with more tanks. I don't think I want to dilute the number in these tanks. So I think what we'll do is I'll add some more tanks here. And what we'll do is we'll make this kind of like quite a big... Oh, not enough money. What can I afford? 202, 135. Let's get that. I'm not investing for the future. I'm just... Well, I kind of am. I'm just spending what I've got. These guys cost 9. These guys are really cheap. So I can't put these 2 together, which is actually the 2 I'd like. So we're going to do a bit of switching around. Given that we've got Orchid Dotty backs here and here, I'm going to put these dotty backs over here. Oops. And then we're going to put a couple of Arabian ones in here. Oh, I don't have enough money for a filter now. Oh, I forgot I unlocked power filter. That's cool. So I do actually have pretty good filtering available to me if I want it. Okay, we need to buy a filter before the end of the day. let's just a heater at the very least. Come on, someone enter. Okay. Wow, we're running low. I've got something to say about this in a moment, but I just finished my tank. Now, are we okay with a combi mini? 18. These guys, 60. If with enough rocks, we might, and maybe not filling it, we might be able to get away with a combi mini here. Oh, I don't know, actually. I feel like it might be worth having the extra filter power and just filling it. This costs a lot more too. Then less maintenance. No, let's do it. It's really worth keeping our maintenance down when our aquarium gets really big. So how's this doing now? So in terms of water quality, 45. So definitely need some rocks. And what do these guys need? They actually don't need anything. That's cool. And what I'd like to do actually, let's move one Orchidotti back. How many rocks do we have to put in here? To get it up to 60. That's 59. That's 62, but I would like to... I'm just going to do the horrible thing. I'm just going to fill it with rocks. Okay, and then I'd like to actually try and get... Can we fit one more of these in? Probably make the water quality too low, but I'm going to try. 51. Okay, then we have to put... Alright, there we go. There we go. Maybe I should have just gone for the powerful filter. Maybe we can upgrade it later. So now, let's put some, King Demoiselles in here, up until we hit our water quality limit. These just 50 as well. Not enough money. Okay. And that way, you notice that I don't have the King Demoiselles sharing with the Arabian Blue Line Dotty backs, which is good. We should probably just add a little red pellet dispenser here. So that these guys can get fed. Now this is a bug I've noticed. Now these guys should have had to be fed, and for some reason they haven't. I just don't really get that. But hopefully it will... Yeah, okay, they're repairing to dump tomorrow. Maybe... Yeah, maybe I made it so that they don't have to be fed the day they arrived. We'll see. Anyway, those guys are all fed now, so it's really nice. I've got these guys all share the same food. Now, unfortunately, these guys don't. You've got a couple of Orchidotti backs here, which eat red pellets, which is actually, you know, could be optimized. I think actually putting some more King Demoiselles in here instead would be better. And then this entire central unit just eat omnivore pellets, which is really cool. We might as well get this basic pump. So, can we fit any more in here? 47. Whoa. Okay, that power filter just not... doing enough. Wait a minute. Is that right? Power filter. Oh, it's because it needs maintaining. It's funny, when I first used to play this game, I used to always think that food was the most important thing, and now I'm like, actually maintenance is so important. Let's make you think maintenance is more important. And yeah, I know this is ugly. Sorry about that. I'll write that one down. But now I'm starting to think maintenance is really important, because I don't know, yeah. Difficult to keep on top of. Right, what I would really like to do is move these two Orchidotti backs, or these three, into here. And then once again, we've got red pellets and green for that. We've got the omnivore for these guys, which possibly we should put in a more convenient location. And then this whole area is going to be omnivore, and then this one is going to be red pellets. Perfect. Going very well. I'd better wrap up this video soon. I'm enjoying myself. Okay, so coral grouper, excellent. Let's put the coral grouper in. Now they like a cave. The rest of these doesn't really make too much difference. Now the way this works, just to explain again, and this will be clearer when I update the UI, but right now I'm just trying to like fill out the game with all the stuff, like do all the different ranks. But the reason we're now showing a schooling bannerfish is because a coral grouper is a medium-sized fish, schooling bannerfish is a medium-sized fish, and so they basically, you take a medium out and then the next medium slots into place, and this will be clear. I'll actually explain that there's different groups for everything. And these are actually going to be filled up with things as well that you can unlock, but it's going to be large fish and corals and inverts, but we haven't got those access to any of those yet. So eventually we'll have 6 choices most of the time. And this is speciality, this is small, and this is scenery. So it means you've always got a choice out of like all the different categories, rather than just having it so, like, say you really don't like scenery, the scenery just keeps on flooding in, and then eventually you've only got like 6 different sceneries and you have to have a scenery. Like, you're never going to be in that position. But equally, if you want to concentrate on just one thing, you can just kind of keep clicking it. You know, if you just want to get speciality fish, you can just keep going for the speciality fish. It actually works really well. It's strange. It feels like it takes away control, but it actually gives you more control. Just doesn't feel like it at first. Schooling bannerfish are really good. You can put a load of them together. The only problem is they need a big tank because of this active swimmer thing. You get a bonus if they're shoaling, which is great. So it's a schooling, not a shoaling bannerfish. They are greedy though, and they have a high water quality requirement. So this is oh, and they eat brine shrimp. But this is a good one once you get a biggish tank. It'd be good once we unlock a sunken tank. We don't have that yet, do we? Yeah, we could maybe make a big observer tank with these in. Or we could go for the Volaton. Or a Coral Beauty. Coral Beauties are useful. They dislike conspecifics, but you can just like throw one in a tank if you just like want to give it a bit of a boost. Let's go for the schooling bannerfish. And then let's make one more tank for our groupers, get them growing, and then we'll leave it there. Now, do I just want to wall this off? Or do I want to kind of, I could create like a special area over here with an observer tank maybe in the middle? Still not sure the best way of designing things. I can't wait to add arrows, that's one thing. Once I add arrows, you can put them on the floor and basically force the guests to go in certain directions, or not force, but encourage. That'll be really cool, because then I won't have to worry. Right now, you have to really like be very careful with the way you design your layouts. Just try and get the guests to just keep going round, rather than like going back on themselves and this sort of stuff. You can encourage them to do that by having less T-junctions. If you have corners, then they'll nearly always keep just going round one direction or the other. With T-junctions, not too bad. With a T-junction, like this is a T-junction, right? A very mini one. What they'll tend to do is they might come in here, and then they come back, and then they will have to go here rather than here because they've already explored this area. So theoretically, it's not a problem, but I don't know. In practice, it sometimes goes wrong. Right, let's go for just another wall tank, I think. Now, coral groupers, you can only put one in a tank, and they eat small fish. So I think I might just make this one. Ooh, wait, you know what? This is a perfect tank for a coral grouper, right? Because they can't eat the black bar soldierfish, they're too big. They like caves. They don't eat the same thing. But, yeah, let's put one of these in. Oh, one other thing. I should actually mention that here in the growth time. There has to be space for it to grow into. That's another requirement for the growth. So I need to be careful that once it hits the 3 days, that there is space for it to grow into. Now, it's 5, and again, this information probably needs to be in here, the size it's going to grow into. But I happen to know it's going to grow to a size 9, so we need a total of 9 space in here. Now, it's currently only 7, so we can add 1 for sure, that's no problem. But we'll probably have to sell one of these black bar soldierfish. Will I remember to do that later? Probably not. Let's just sell one now. And then it's going to gain 4. We can have space for a size 3. But then a size 3 will get eaten by the grouper eventually. So I think we'll just leave this one a little empty. That's fine. These guys are greedy, by the way. Sorry, where is it? Here. Which means they eat 50% more food and create 50% more waste. So actually, it's probably not a bad idea to have a bit of extra space. Now, the way you can counteract greediness is obviously big filters, and then you still get to fill your tank, but at this early stage of the game, you just have to leave a bit more space in your tank. Okay, I've now got this space here, which I don't have an animal for, so I'm just gonna, whoops, wall that off. Not enough money. Fantastic. God, how much is it? 20. Okay, there we go. Okay, well, you know, let's just, I don't know, try and end on something. What we're going to do is we're going to wait till the end of the day, and hopefully this will go up as long as they've gotten fed. Oh, wait, pause. We need a mussel dispenser. Well, you've come to the right place, ladies. Mussel dispenser coming right up. Yeah, no. Okay. You see, This is weird, like, why didn't that task appear? It just doesn't seem to appear for the first day. Let's just check if that appears afterwards, but I just can't work out what that bug is. Yeah, it just doesn't appear for the first day. That's really interesting. I'm just going to write that down. I didn't actually notice that. I thought it was just the first time you put it down. I didn't realise it was only the first day. That's probably where the bug is. It's probably interacting with the other bit of logic, which tells them that they don't have to be fed on their first day, but the task should still appear. You shouldn't be penalised if you don't manage it. I mean, I could leave it where it is. I mean, it's not the worst thing they'd have to be fed on the first day, but I wanted to feed them, right? Because it means it counts straight away to this. So we've got our first growth. So I think, I can't remember. It's either when this hits 3. Yeah, I think it's when it hits 3, it automatically resets, and then you get the bigger animal. But we won't do that this time, I'm afraid. We will save that for another video. Gosh, what's going on here now? Why is the water quality so low? I put too many animals in, didn't I? This filter is just not powerful enough. Don't have the power, Captain. Oh, let's just whack another one on. Whatever. Wow, that's only just enough. Now this, oh gosh, okay, I was about to end the vlog, but one more little thing, I'm just going to mention it. I know it's a bit of a long one, okay, but, you know, I'm really enjoying myself. So, now, this is interesting. This filter, it's fine, right? It's basic filtering, but what you'll find is quite easy to get kind of 50-55 sort of percentage, but it's quite difficult to get a lot higher than that. And that's because we have this extra type of filtering, and there'll be multiple types, but the next one we're going to unlock is skimming. So any aquarium nerds out there know that a protein skimmer is like almost there, just a certain requirement for like every single tank out there. It's a really efficient type of filtering that's slightly different to what we're talking about here, which is kind of mechanical and biological filtering. It actually skims off this like the excess organic matter before it has a chance to dissolve down and become ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. And so it actually just allows you to have a water quality that's just unattainable even with like really good filters. And so yeah, and the way it comes out in the game is that you can put lots and lots of filtering on, and it will always increase the water quality, but there is a bit of a kind of like you'll get diminishing returns. So soon we'll unlock a protein skimmer, and then that'll be so much easier to get these higher water qualities. Right now it's like, you know, you're having to just use brute force, and later on we can just be smart. So there's some nice subtleties in the way that the equipment mechanics work that I hope you guys appreciate. Alright guys, leave you all a nice zoomed in shot of our aquarium running very smoothly, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.